In my last video, we got started on poster concepts and made the prototype figurine of my most beloved character, Sprinkles, in his crusty, crispy glory. That prototype helped me understand that the type of paint I was using wasn't going to work on this material. It was peeling, it was crusting, even sealing it wouldn't help the paint stick or make the surface feel any smoother. I also realised I wanted a bit of depth to the eyes and Sprinkles, with the prototype just having bits of clay stuck to it, so I fixed up the 3D model, first fixing the error with the headphones where the cones would just go missing. Turns out it had a gap where the flat surface should be, so I simply just extruded the vertices and then merged them at the center, and it just solved it. I added the Sprinkles and eyes, and while they look to be quite protruding, I know from my previous attempts with 3D models that they'll kind of shrink into the surface. I went through a bit of chaos with Blender crashing, and I almost had a breakdown thinking I'd have to add in and rotate every individual sprinkle to the model again. I also made a little mouth, but I'm not sure about it. So I'm going to be printing one mouthless and one with its mouth. I feel like it could definitely add a bit of dimension and be easier to spray paint, but it just looks a little bit too tacky. I also bought a beautiful little pink airbrush to experiment with softer painting. So far, I'm still getting the hang of it. I'm using older prototypes as the figurine for testers with painting, and I've discovered that the way the paint is applied to the model is really inconsistent. Sometimes it's too wet and drips down the figure, and other times it's a really nice thin coat. If I can sand the models down to be a little bit softer, I feel like the paint would definitely stick so much better. I may need to seal and gloss it first just so it sticks a bit nicer, but in all honesty, my method of learning is trial and effort again and again and again. I 3D printed miniature versions of the little figure with and without the mouth, and surprisingly, I really prefer it when the little mouth detail is there. The little addition of some depth really helps the figure look a lot nicer, and with some masking tape, airbrushing the model should be super easy. All I'm stuck on now is finding my sander and sandpaper. I'm getting kittens, and in a desperate attempt to stop them from eating and chewing on all of my dangerous and expensive equipment, I hid it in my new side room. But I've hidden them so well that I actually don't know where I put them all, so I can print as much as I want, but if I don't find my sander, the figures will be forever clumpy. Luckily, that's not all. If you watch the first part, you know that I already had my keychains made and that I was working on a poster. That poster is finished. I did a few renditions with me getting stuck trying to fill in an empty corner on the right hand side. So I posted a reel asking for help with what other candy I could add, and user Kyopilled suggested that I add a comically large lollipop, and that ended up being the final part that finished the whole piece. And I loved it. But when I ordered the prints to check how the quality came out, I found that the colour was incredibly dull in comparison to the digital version. So much that I knew it just wasn't due to the backlight from the iPad. So again, I posted online saying, "Oh no, the prints are so dull." And both my beloved tattoo artist Shine Tattoo and another user called Droopy Muzzle let me know that the issue was behind the fact my canvas colour profile was in RGB instead of CYMK, and that was the colour profile that printers used. It's kind of an easy fix. I had to create a canvas that was the same size but in CYMK, and I had to import the RGB image, and when I did that, the dull colour was immediately so much clearer to see, and fixing it was so difficult because the colours were just not as bright when painting. The actual colour wheel itself had been somewhat dulled, so I had to try use more intense spots of colour just to trick the eyes into thinking it's a lot more saturated than it actually is. I've still got the anatomy poster to cook on, but at the moment I still haven't got much inspiration for what his body should be made out of, and I thought about making a small sticker pack of all the emoticons I've made of Sprinkles so far, but I'm still on the fence about it because I feel like I should have a lot more different expressions rather than this small set of like 15 faces I have now. I will definitely be making another poster concept, and considering Halloween is only in a few months, if I'm able to successfully make a figurine of Sprinkles, then I'll consider creating a mystery box set around Halloween. I get the kittens next week, so hopefully before the time I get wrapped up and taking care of 2 babies, I should maybe have found my Dremel and sander. If you made it this far, consider subscribing. It's free and encourages me to actually come back and make more content on YouTube. And if you want to spend money, I have a Patreon where I post updates and random drawings that don't make it to social media, and depending on what tier you get, you may even find yourself receiving some of the items I made in this video for yourself. Hopefully in the next video I actually have a funky looking Sprinkles to show you all. Bye!